Welcome to the Alchemy, Astrology, and Astro Health podcast. I'm Maya Ratla, medical astrologist, astroherbalist, and green witch. I was diagnosed with endometriosis at 19, and I was told I would never have children. I healed my body through the power of herbs, alternative health practitioners, energy healing, and more. At 28, I had the baby they said I would never have, without any interventions. I refused to believe that my body was not able to heal itself. Along this journey, I stumbled across medical astrology, and it resonated with me so much. I started down the path to learning this unique system that had been used for thousands of years in the medical community. I now help other women heal their bodies using their cosmic blueprint, the unique blueprint that every person has embedded in their DNA from the stars. This system helps me see what's going on in your body on a cosmic level and exactly how to help you give your body what it needs to heal itself. We are all uniquely and amazingly designed, and when we learn to work with our design, love ourselves for how we are designed to function, and integrate the cosmos into our lives, I truly believe that we can see true and lasting health brought into our lives. If you are ready to change your life, heal your body, and learn to deeply love who you are, this podcast is for you. Come join me as I discuss medical astrology, astronutrition, astroherbalism, health, wellness, spirituality, transformation, and so much more. I'm so excited you are joining me. I know. You are sick of me telling you to drink water and take electrolytes. But let me tell you, it's totally worth it. This is why I love Element so much, though. It's because they are science-backed. They're formulated to contain just the right amount of sodium, potassium, magnesium to ensure that all of that water that I encourage you to drink on a daily basis in pretty much every episode is going to go where it needs to, is going to stay there, right? There is no point in drinking so much water daily if you're just going to pee most of it right back out. No one wants to be living in the bathroom. I'm sure that less time in the bathroom is definitely a plus there. And if you have been wanting to check out Element, I have a good news for you. I actually have a referral link now that you can use to purchase Element through. And in doing so, you receive a free sample pack with your first order through that link. This only applies to the first order currently, but hey, free is free, am I right? So if you are ready to up your hydration game, keep that gallon of water I am making you drink daily inside your body, click that referral link in the show notes and go snatch you up some Element today. My favorite flavors are raspberry salt, citrus salt, and the chocolate salt. So they have a chocolate mint that is delicious and it goes really great with a protein shake, a chocolate protein shake. After I've had a really hard workout, it helps replenish me. It gives me all the potassium, sodium, and magnesium that I just sweated out back, as well as tasting delicious. It's great in hot chocolate and coffee as well. So perfect times. They are great for cold weather mainly. I do not like them as much in the summer, the chocolate ones, but the other ones are great. You can add a dash of sweet and salty to your favorite warm beverage. So go now to the link, get your free sample pack of Element today with your first order. Enjoy it. Let me know what you think about it because it's my absolute fucking favorite electrolyte brand. And that's that. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Hi everyone, Jess Marie and I are here because we want to announce something amazing that's coming up and we wanted to get you all excited and ready to come and join us. So thank you, Jess, for joining me.
Absolutely.
Yes, so Jess and I, you'll hear her podcast episode coming out soon, but we have really hit it off. She does Ayurveda and mental health counseling with that approach, and it's awesome and amazing. And combining that with medical astrology and what I do has been awesome. So we decided that we want to get together and offer you a groundbreaking live event that you can come and join both of us and learn all about solutions to mental health using the lens of Ayurveda and medical astrology.
It's going to be absolutely wonderful because there are so many things that mesh together and overlap with our two approaches, especially with the astrology and the herbalism. And I think this is just a great way to not only learn about are two separate approaches, but how they can work together and complement each other, as well as learn about new modalities and things that are not necessarily talked about as much as other modalities. And I'm certain that in finding you and in finding me, people that are new to both of our practices are like, whoa, what is this? Vedic counseling and Ayurveda specifically are on the rise, but they're still not yet as known as I'd like them to be. And then when I discovered you and we connected for the first time, astroherbalism, astronutrition, medical astrology, I had to know what it was all about. So I'm hoping that everybody who participates has that same intention and is just as excited as we are.
Yes. Mental health issues are like all the rage right now. You hear it talked about constantly, which is great. And I'm glad that it's being destigmatized in a lot of ways because, they're real, they exist, and you shouldn't have to hide or be ashamed that you are struggling with anxiety, depression, bipolar, suicidal ideations, whatever it's presenting as for you. And while a lot of the approaches that we've been seeing talked about are definitely helpful for many people, too many of them are like a one-size-fits-all approach, and that doesn't work for everybody. We're not one-size-fits-all human beings, and so why should a one-size-fits-all approach work for everybody? And it doesn't. And so people feel even more stigmatized and more left out and more alone because they're doing all the things that they're being told to do and none of it is helping still. And so then they feel like there's something wrong with them. They start internalizing that and there's no need to. So our approaches, both of them, very personalized, very much this is for you specifically. And what I'm recommending for one person, I would probably never recommend for the other person, even if they're having the exact same symptoms or presentation, because every body is different. And so I love this approach between Jess and I because she has one way of looking at it and I have a slightly different way of looking at it. And while there is some overlap, like she was mentioning, it definitely both are a person-centered, whole being, holistic approach where we are looking at the whole person and not just their symptoms, and we're helping them manage these appropriately for them. And so I really am glad that we're bringing this up. This is going to be a huge event because we are super excited to be able to let you know that there is more than just this one size fits all, take these pills and if they don't work, tough luck approach out there that can really help turn the tides on a lot of those mental health issues that you are struggling with.
I completely agree with everything that you just said. And the individualized approach and our specific approaches and how we offer that is incredibly distinct. What we do is very rare and very unique. And that's something that I think a lot of people will be excited to learn more about because this is kind of like a taboo sort of thing that we're doing, but very much looking forward to diving deeper into the mental health aspect of our approaches and how we complement each other. And we want to help more people. So whoever's listening, please join us. We really do want to bring new information and knowledge and wisdom to the surface. So I think this is a great way to do it.
Yes, definitely. So please come join us August 13th at 4 p.m. Mountain Time to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So only 2 hours out of your day. It's easy peasy to attend. Pricing will be up soon and a link for you to come and join us. But in the meantime, put it on your calendar and be prepared to come and join us for this. We are going to be talking about astronutrition, astroherbalism, the Vedic approach to nutrition, and all of those different pieces that come in from that. We're going to be talking about what the different influences are, how different bodies, show up with different things, and how we can use all of that information to come up with a personalized plan for you. There's going to be actionable steps. There is going to be some freebies that you are going to love. 20-minute health resets with me and a 30-minute mini little consultation with Jess, where we will both dive as deep as we can in those time frames to help you understand what's really going on with your body and how you can start helping your body today. So awesome stuff is coming. Please mark the calendar. The link will be dropping soon to sign up for this event. It is a paid event and pricing will be available on the link that will be dropping soon. So come join us August 13th, 4 p.m. Mountain to 6 p.m. Mountain. That is 3 p.m. Pacific, it is 5 p.m. Central, and it is 6 p.m. Eastern that this starts. So we would love to see you guys there, and sign up soon. We'll talk to you later. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Alchemy, Astrology, and Astro Health. I'm Ayer, I'm your host, and I want to talk to you today about the sun's role in mental health. So let's dive right in. Mental health is such a hard thing to deal with for so many people, and it can feel sometimes like there's just no end in sight of whatever is bothering you, like actually having a resolution, right? And when you're in the throes of that mental illness, it can feel like nothing can help and nothing you're doing is helping, right? And there's so many people that want to come around when you're not feeling well and you're experiencing these mental health illnesses that are like happy to throw out lots of advice. But when you have no energy and everything is feeling overwhelming and you're constantly exhausted and whatever else that you're experiencing, right, it can be really hard to implement them, especially when you aren't sure that they're like even going to work. So why try it when it's going to potentially just not do anything? And well, I would like to change that today, right? As someone who themselves has dealt with horribly severe postpartum depression that almost turned into postpartum psychosis, I am here to tell you that not only is there an end in sight, but there is literally one simple thing that you can do, start doing today, that will literally help you turn the corner. It does not involve buying a ton of stuff or adding in a ton of things that require a lot of energy to enact, right? So what is this one simple thing, right? What am I throwing out there? Get more sun in your life. It's really that easy. I know you've been told probably so many times, like hiking in nature is good for your mental health, being outside in the sun, go for a walk outdoors, whatever's, right? And this is true for many reasons. It can improve anxiety, it can improve depression, it can improve so many other mental health illnesses just by getting, out into the sun. And this is because the main reason is that you're getting more sunshine in your life, which we all need. And you couple that with the movement piece, and then you get that movement in that your body is craving. And it just together is a really great combination. So I know this seems overly simplified and you're just like, oh my God, I've heard this before. I'm sure you have, but let's look at it from a medical astrology lens as to why this works and why it's simple, but it works, right? Health is simple and we overcomplicate it as humans. We want, for some reason, to have to throw 70 things at a problem that we're having. We want medications and we want the herbs and we want the diet changes and the movement, all this. We want all these things. And we don't need all of that, right? That just confuses and overwhelms our nervous system, which then creates more problems or exacerbates the ones we're already experiencing. So health is simple. Let's bring it back down to the easy things, right? One of the reasons people work with me is I make things easy and there's not a lot of complicated anything, right? So why does this work so well? From a medical astrology standpoint, the sun rules dopamine and serotonin and their production in your body. It also rules a bunch of other hormones, mainly the majority of them, right? So you may have heard of these, right? Most people know what dopamine and serotonin are anymore, which is fabulous. And you know maybe a few things about them, but let's break them down a little bit easier today and a little bit more. So to start all of this, we are a microcosm of nature in the universe, and nature and the universe are a macrocosm of us. So we are intrinsically linked to nature and the universe, and especially the sun, right? We need the sun for life on this planet, and that life includes human life. So because of this, we literally need time in nature and the sun on a daily basis. And when we don't get that, it leads to health problems. In this modern society, we don't get enough, right? We tend to go from house to car to work building, back to the car, and then back into the house again. And this means we're more than likely not even getting the minimum amount of sun daily that our bodies need, which is 30 minutes. It's not a lot. It's not a ton. I'm not asking you to go out and spend hours upon hours and upon hours out in the sun, right? And this 30 minutes needs to be without sunglasses, hats, or sunscreen that blocks all of the stuff that we need, right? Because we need the UV rays to help our bodies produce vitamin D, which then in turn help us produce dopamine, serotonin, other hormones in our body, bolster our immune system, and give us good, healthy bones. So, now that we know all of this, let's dive into dopamine, right? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter and a hormone. This is sometimes known as the motivation hormone, the focus hormone. It can also be called the happiness hormone for some people because it does create like a happy feeling. It's more of like a feeling of satisfaction than it is happiness, like a job well done, right? So dopamine is produced in the gut or the colon, and it's also produced in a few other places in the body, but the main area is there. So when we have dopamine in sufficient quantities, right, we can focus, life seems happy and well, we are satisfied, overall life feels good. We have the motivation to get things done, we're accomplishing a lot, we're hitting those goals, and we have the ability to get ourselves up out of bed in the morning and go do all the stuff we need to get done, right? Dopamine levels naturally rise in the morning and lower in the evening to help us sleep and get up out of bed in the morning. So they rise in the morning to give us that motivation and that energy and that focus to get up out of bed, and they lower in the evening so that we can fall asleep. So when they are high, we get energy, and when they are low, we don't have enough. So rising in the morning is great when we have plenty of dopamine, right? And it gets you moving. But if it's not being produced in sufficient quantities for your body, this means that getting out of bed in the morning and any other time, to be honest, can be incredibly difficult. So to help regulate these levels, getting the early morning sun with where all the blue light that it's emitting can help a ton, which means between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Go outside and sit in the sun, or go outside and take a brief 10 to 15-minute walk. Again, no hat, no sunglasses, no sunscreen for those brief time so that your eyes can pick up on those blue rays, the UV rays that it needs to activate your body's ability to create more dopamine and other things that we need, other hormones. So if you're feeling depressed and the idea of even going for a walk is just not feasible and your dopamine levels are low and getting up out of bed is a chore and a half, I understand that. I have been in that place myself. Start small. Don't force yourself to have to get up at 6 a.m. and go for a 20-minute walk outside, right? That is a goal that you're not going to meet in your current state. And when you don't meet it, you're just going to feel like a failure. And it's going to make you less likely to continue, right? So give yourself a goal that you can reach. Open a blind and sit in the window with the sun shining in for 5 to 10 minutes. And it doesn't have to be at 6 a.m. If 6 a.m. is way too fucking early for you, then don't do it, right? Make it 8, 9, 10 a.m. The sun doesn't stop emitting blue rays just because we hit an arbitrary time of 10 a.m., right? Those are the best, most optimal hours. And it would be best to probably go out then. But you know what? If the earliest you can get yourself out of bed is 10, 11, 12, do that. Get up then and get in the window for 5 to 10 minutes. And then slowly work your way up to going outside, sitting in the sun in the yard, and then up to walking. Make them small little baby steps that are easy to accomplish. And then you will get more dopamine, right? When you feel accomplished, you're like, oh, I did that. That gives you a dopamine boost. And you're naturally helping yourself raise those levels without having to do anything crazy or that's too hard to get to right off the bat, right? Give yourself small baby step, teeny tiny goals that you can meet, right? So the more you get outside in the sun, the higher your dopamine levels. The more you get up and meet those goals, even if, like I said, that goal is getting up at 12 in the afternoon. Okay, start there. You can move that time back as your dopamine levels rise, and it makes it easier for you to get out of bed, right? Melatonin is the next one. It's also a neurotransmitter or a hormone. It's known as the happiness hormone for many people because it makes our brains feel happy. It regulates our mood. It regulates bone health. It regulates some of our immune system in some ways and helps with that. And it's just overall makes our brain function as it should, right? 90% of serotonin is actually produced in the gut, in your colon, in special cells. So when your gut health is good, serotonin levels will naturally, typically, usually be good as well. And what I mean by this when I say your gut health is good is gut health, colon health, involves making sure that you have a well-diversified microbiome of various bacteria and microbes. The best way to keep this diversified, right, is by eating in-season veggies and fruits. So in-season means fruits and vegetables that naturally come ripe during that season. So like in the summertime, that's naturally like cucumbers, tomatoes, different lettuces, kale. As far as fruits go, it's like peaches, nectarines, cherries, things like that, right? You can look up a list on Googling it of what fruits and veggies are currently in season. In-season veggies and fruits help our microbiome stay diversified because they contain different microbes and bacteria from the soil that we need during this specific time in the year for whatever reason to help prevent us from getting sick from the things that are normally present that time of year. Like vitamin C is very good at helping our bodies stop from catching anything, right? Or if we do have something, helping us get over it quicker. Apples have a decent amount of vitamin C in them. So do oranges and lemons and limes. And guess what? All of those typically normally come into season in the fall when cold and flu season are prevalent and high doses of vitamin C help your body fight and combat those, right? So this is what I mean by eating in-season veggies and fruits. It will give you extra things that your body needs during this specific time to help it combat anything that is coming up during the season. You also want to include fermented foods and drinks. So this is like kombucha for a drink, sauerkraut, kimchi, whatever culture, whatever fermented food your culture, has. Pretty much every culture has some sort of fermented food, that they create, and that can really help. And a drink too. A lot of them have a lot of drink as well, a liquid of some kind that you can also incorporate. So if it's something in your culture that you really like, incorporate that, right? And if you don't really like it, try another culture's fermented drinks and foods. You might like those better, and then cultured food and drinks. So this is referring to food and drinks that have been presented with a bacterial culture that then in some way, shape, or form make it so that it also then contains these beneficial bacteria, right? So this is like yogurt and kefir. There's two kinds of kefir. There's water kefir and there is milk kefir. So if milk is not your thing for whatever reason, then you could do water kefir instead. So there is a cultured drink that you can have that will help, and you don't have to, ingest dairy if you don't want to. Probiotics can also help at this time as well. So ultimately, how does the sun help with all of these, right? Well, the sun, like I mentioned earlier, it helps regulate our hormones. Its influence helps raise dopamine and cortisol levels in the morning, which gives us focus and energy to get through our day. And it raises serotonin levels and melatonin levels, especially at night, right? Which helps our moods, helps us sleep, and helps our bodies heal as we rest. The sun emits the blue light during the early morning hours and into the daytime, and this helps our body decrease melatonin and increase dopamine and cortisol in the mornings. And at night, the sun emits red light, which raises melatonin, serotonin, and lowers cortisol and dopamine. Throughout the day, the sun emits UV rays as well, which we also need to help us produce adequate amounts of vitamin D. The sun-ruled vitamins and minerals also play a role here in helping our bodies produce the necessary hormones for keeping our mental health stable and healthy, right? These are, again, vitamin A and D, iodine, and magnesium. So vitamin A and D work together to help us produce multiple different hormones throughout the body. They work in other ways as well. Vitamin A really helps with eye health as well as fertility health, and that goes for men and women. And vitamin D also helps with immune health and bone health, as well as helping with a lot of other things that our body needs, such as hormones, right? Iodine helps our thyroid work properly, and the thyroid is one of the main controls of the hormones in our body. We have a couple, it's one of the main ones, and so when that is working well, then the rest of our hormones start working better as well, right? Magnesium is needed for over 300 processes in the body, which means you need to consume a fairly high amount of magnesium daily, because you pretty much will use whatever you have consumed up just on those processes, right? And you do want to try to keep a store, which is typically stored in like the muscles and sometimes in the bones. And so you want and need higher quantities of magnesium throughout the day. Magnesium used to be easy to get in our foods, which is where I usually recommend you get most of these from, right? It's from food sources. I said it's the best and easiest way for our bodies to break them down and assimilate them. But with magnesium, with the high turnover, high yield commercial farming that we have started in this society, it has depleted our soil of magnesium in many, many, many places. And so getting it from just food alone is not as easy anymore in the sufficient quantities that most people need. If you are suffering from depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia, a lot of those illnesses come along with a naturally low magnesium level in the body. So you may need to take way more than even what is normally recommended, right? To keep that and take it daily. So I do recommend a magnesium supplement for that reason. One of the processes, well, I guess this would be more than one, but one of the main processes that magnesium is needed for is helping the body to produce progesterone, dopamine, adrenaline, and a few others. So those are all hormones that we need for multiple different things in our body, right? And it works in conjunction with B6 for many of those too. So getting plenty of B6 in your diet as well is also helpful so that magnesium can do its job. Magnesium also works better when there's calcium present, so eating those cultured foods, which typically tend to be dairy products, which are higher in calcium, will also help. Again, if you're avoiding dairy for whatever reason, then taking a calcium supplement might not also be a bad idea. So as you can see, the sun, with all of its different lights and UV rays that it emits, and even the vitamins and minerals that it governs, are really super necessary to keep our hormones at the proper levels and end up maintaining a good balance in our mental health. We have been taught for so long in our society to be afraid of the sun, and that fear is literally making us sick and is destroying our mental health and our physical health and our spiritual health and just our overall health in general as a collective and as an individual. And it did the same to me for years too. I stayed inside all the time. I avoided the sun. I would wear big hats, huge sunglasses. I would slather SPF 100 sunscreen on me to avoid getting any of the stuff from the sun, and then wondered why I was sick all the time. When I stopped fearing the sun, I started actually spending more time in it without any of that crap on me. My health started changing for the better, and it was amazing like how it changed like so quickly. And again, you only need 30 minutes in the sun daily. Obviously, more is not going to hurt, but you only need 30 minutes. So this is not a huge thing that you have to do. It's not a lot of steps. There's not a lot of supplements to buy or gadgets. And it's fairly simple, right? Just go outside. Stop fearing the sun, and things will start changing. I have not struggled with depression in years now. And prior to even having the postpartum depression, I had bouts of depression on and off from the time I was a teenager on. Some of that was situational depression by growing up in the, horribly abusive household that I grew up in. Being in that abusive relationship with my ex was also a part of it too, right? So situational depression is a thing. And so if you've felt that maybe it is your situation that's causing the depression, the simple fix there is to change the situation. Obviously, when you're in the throes of a situation and you're in the middle of it, it can cloud our judgment and our ability to see a way out, which is why it's important to, have other people in your life, whether these be friends, family, counselor, therapist, me, who can point out the open door that you might be missing and how to get out. That can always be super useful, right? But if it's not situational and you feel like it's more of just a chemistry thing, right? Or it's like, this is just me anymore. If you're feeling like that, this is where these steps come in, right? This is where you do the sun and you get outside and you make that one simple change. There's a ton of other things I could tell you to change as well. There really is. But you're already overwhelmed. You're already not feeling well. You're already struggling just to get up out of bed. Let's make it as easy as possible to start feeling better. Once you start feeling better, you can start adding more things in. And if you don't know what to add in after you start feeling better, that's where I come in. I am really fucking good at making plans for people and baby stepping them through them. And I would really like to do that for you now. Because I don't struggle with this anymore and I know how it feels to finally be out of that, I want the same thing for you. It is a distant memory for me now, and I want it to be a distant memory for you one day too, right? And I am very grateful for that. But it was a long, hard struggle to get out of it on my own. And if I'd had support, it would have been better. So finding a support system is imperative. And sometimes that support system can't come from our friends or family, right? They're too close to the situation as well. And they're not the best people to be there for you. And this is where having someone else who's a third party, basically, who's not emotionally invested in your life to a certain degree, right? Because they're not related to you in any way, shape, or form, can be a better thing for you. And that's why therapists and counselors and myself and other practitioners like myself are good for this, because we are able to see you in a different light than your family and your friends do sometimes. So if you are looking to understand the sun in your chart and your life better, if you are looking to get out of whatever is going on, this can be all kinds of things. Like hormones is my specialty, right? And hormones govern everything in our life, everything. So when they're out of sync, everything can feel like it's going wrong at once, right? So if that is what you're looking to do, hey, I would love to be your guide on this, help you on this journey, help you figure out what's going on and how to baby step your way out of it, right? So if that's the case, go to atlaastrology.com/everything and sign up for whatever package works best for you, and we will get working together. And also, don't forget to come join me and Jess Marie August 13th at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. We are having a groundbreaking, life-changing live event for solutions to mental health. And we are super excited about this because it is going to detail what I just talked about and so much more in depth, and give you actual actionable, there we go, steps that you can start implementing today, or that day, I guess, because it's coming up. So I would love that if you attend live. You also get access to signing up for a free 20-minute health reset with me, where we chat for 20 minutes about one health problem, and I give you a lot of solutions and things you can start adding in and working on to change whatever that health problem is, right? And make it better. And you also can sign up for a free 30-minute consultation with Jess Marie, who looks at it from an Ayurvedic point of view. And she works specifically with people with mental health issues using Ayurvedic practices to help change that. So it's going to be amazing. You only get access to those if you come to the live event. There will be some freebies that we are giving out as well that will be for everybody, whether you come live or not. But those special things for the 20-minute health resets and the 30-minute consultations are for people who come live only. So definitely sign up. It's only $35 from now until July 31st. So sign up now so you get the early bird pricing, and it's cheap, and we can start working on helping you feel better, because that is our main goal here, right? Is helping you feel better and live the life that you want without feeling like you feel now. We want to change that for you. And I would love to be part of that. So come see us at the live event. Come work together with me if that sounds good. And I will see you guys then. So until next time, love and light. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Alchemy, Astrology, and Astro Health. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I enjoyed making it. You can find all relevant links to today's show in the show notes below. If you loved the show today, please subscribe, follow, and leave me a review. I love to hear your thoughts, and it helps me know what is a hit and to make more of that content, especially for you. If you want to learn more about me and how I can help you, head over to atlasastrology.com. There you can sign up for a medical astrology package, download my free sun sign in your health ebook, read the blog, and so much more. If you want to connect more outside the podcast, follow my Instagram channel at Atla Astrology, or join my Astro Connection community, the link to which you can find in the show notes. Until next time, love and light.